So I guess if we want to revisit the topic of canon, what does canon mean in terms of this show and other additions to the franchise? What does it mean when it comes to the animated Hobbit and Lord of the Rings films and Peter Jackson's films? And again, I would say that those are not technically canon, but they are accepted additions to the greater IP because, again, they are taken and guided by what the author wrote. So when it comes to Rings of Power, it's not any of those things. This isn't guided by canon. It's not guided by anything. It's not even within the same spirit of Tolkien. I've grown tired of this argument that just because Tolkien's ideas, some of them were workshopped, continue to be workshopped in these various works and letters and essays and other things that were published posthumously, material that this show does not have the rights to, by the way. But they want to use that as an excuse to ignore everything and bastardize Tolkien's stories to the point that they are unrecognizable. And I'm tired of them like cherry picking lines from these other obscure works, the soft canon and stuff like that. It's again stuff they don't have the rights to as justification to completely destroy Tolkien's Legendarium. And fans are fed up. We're fed up with being attacked for standing up for Tolkien's work, for fighting for the integrity of his mythos when the stewards of his estate care not to. It's even more saddening when you see ones like Corey Olsen accepting this Amazon promotional spot and saying something so wrong. What if Brian Herbert would have come out in defense of any change that Denis Villeneuve had made and said there's no such thing as canon in Frank Herbert's stories, and that's why Chani is the way she was depicted? This is gaslighting. When it comes to literary IPs, anything that the author wrote is canon. And everything else is just, if it's based on what he wrote, if it's an adaptation, then it's like, okay, it's an addition. But it is not the definitive version of the story. And it's the same thing with Rings of Power, except it goes further. It's not even an adaptation. Yeah, those films are adaptations of canon. And when you look at it too, like from a studio's perspective, what is canon to Amazon? Because canon is what Amazon and other studios, Warner Brothers, are buying the rights to. Canon is what they're paying for to adapt. Well, ideally, but they got the wrong rights. I don't know. They got the rights to The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and its appendices for this second age show. So what, they had a timeline of something, and that gave them, evidently, carte blanche to just do whatever they wanted, to just make up whatever. They literally have taken every opportunity, gone out of their way to disrupt and deviate from Tolkien's mythos in a way that just feels antagonistic. It's not respectful of the author's work and his legacy, and it's antagonistic to his fans. That's one thing too with the justification of the kiss, of the Elrond Galadriel clearly passionate kiss. The actor himself didn't want to do it. The actor Robert Aramayo came out and said that he, for the longest time, did not agree with it. He did not like it. He had to be talked into it. And basically, I mean, he has no power. He's just an actor. So at the end of the day, he doesn't want to be labeled difficult to work with or anything. And his job as an actor is to just do the role and do the lines, even if he disagrees with it. But he didn't want to do it. And he revealed that it was just like to drum up controversy and conversation, essentially. That's what this show is. It doesn't stand on its own as far as meaningful stories, compelling television. It's just to stir up controversy, and that's it. Just to stir up online buzz, it seems at this point. What was the whole marketing as far as Sauron goes with Galadriel? Like, that whole thing seems antagonistic. It seems just like it is there to drum up conversation. I'm calling out his professionalism here. Professionally, like just taking his words that he put out there in the Amazon promo, I have to call that out as being just completely mistaken. And the way that it justifies, that it's supposed to justify Amazon's treatment of Tolkien's Legendarium is, I gotta call that out. I'm sorry. It's a tragedy. They had so many articles and videos lined up to talk only about the kiss that released immediately after the episode dropped. Yeah, they were ready. And again, with the Gandalf reveal, the next day, early in the morning, Amazon was rolling out that video featuring Corey Olsen. Even the Hobbit movies are adaptations of canon. The canon is still there, albeit hidden in a ton of bloated nonsense. In Rings of Power, there is no canon hidden in the trash. Yeah, I have my issues with The Hobbit in terms of, yes, the stuff that just does not need to be there, but there is a lot of good things, again, that is based on canon, based on what the author wrote. So there's a lot to love in there. But I do hope that that will steer them in the right direction going forward and have them learn the lessons of the Hobbit reception. Salke and Weber wanted the canon to fix it. I think it is on purpose. I can't help but not view it as malicious at this point. There's just so many things that just did not need to be in there and that are in there solely, apparently, to irritate fans. That's not a successful show. Why are you even coming at the show from that perspective of not wanting to create something entertaining, a meaningful addition to Tolkien's mythology, not even a baseline entertaining show, but it really feels like you're coming at it from the perspective of drumming up online controversy. And that doesn't lead to success. Look at Peter Jackson's films. To this day, they are beloved and hyped, and people still go to the theaters, have extended edition marathons. They rent out theaters to have that same experience again. And every time we watch these movies all the time because they still hold up. They could have been similar to that and have a legacy like that, a lasting legacy. The same way Lauren Hisrich hated The Witcher and ran the show solely in order to change what she felt was wrong with it. So many things like that and other IPs, the same thing is happening. They just want to use the fame. They want the fan base, the built-in fan base. They want the notoriety that such IPs hold, but they don't want to do the work to please the fans, to make it a worthy addition of the IP's legacy and reap the benefits of just being associated with an IP like that. How often do these Hollywood creatives have to learn this lesson? They're all doing the same things and they're all failing at it. Even like mainstream media, I think it was from the Hollywood Reporter, did this huge piece about Disney being bad at Star Wars and listing out, examining all of their failures, analyzing it. I mean, stuff that we've noticed the whole time. They can't even hide it anymore, and the mainstream media can't cover for them anymore. When are y'all going to learn? Curious if this show even has a point where they will break past the sunk cost and just end it. Maybe they're waiting to see until all of the official viewing data comes in, and maybe they want to give the finale a few weeks or something before they ultimately decide if it's worth it. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep going. I mean, they said 5 seasons. They have the rights to that, but if it's too much of a financial burden, I mean, how much other shows could they be producing for the cost of this one show? Other seasons of television they could be involved in for a fraction of the cost because of this show being produced. I can't remember who it was that said it, but it was some sort of Amazon studio head, one of those, that what they were looking for in terms of success. Obviously, it's not that commercially, like they're not going to make money in that regard, but they could make money elsewhere. Is there enough traffic from new subscribers or the ones that are already subscribed? Is there enough traffic from this show itself that is leading to other things? Like, are they purchasing other things because they were drawn to this show specifically? I think is what they're looking for. I don't know how you measure that in terms of financial success. So we'll see. They have the revenue. The dude spends billions on playing with rockets. This is pocket change for him.